Hi boys and girls, I'm Miss Lydia from the Boston Library, and this is my dog Gemma, and she's going to join us for a story today. Today's book is called The Detective Dog by Julia Donaldson. There once was a dog with a keen sense of smell. She was known far and wide as Detective Dog Nell. Sniff, 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 time after time, Nell, the detective, solved crime after crime. Who threw the hazelnuts down from the tree? See the squirrel? Who took the honey away from the bees? Who left the poo on the new gravel path? How did the spider get into the bath? Sniff, 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 with a wag of her tail, Nell, the detective, was hot on the trail. Nell shared her house with a person called Peter, a very nice child, though he could have been neater. And 6-year-old Peter was one of those boys who kept on misplacing his clothes and his toys. Sniff, 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 nose to the ground, these are the things the detective dog found. The bus in the bowl, and the book in the bed, the sock in the sofa, and the shoe in the shed. The tumble-down teddy and the bounce-away ball. Nell, the detective, discovered them all. Now, Nell did detection from Tuesday to Sunday, but something totally different on each Monday. She found Peter's bag and she tracked down her lead, then set off for school where she heard children read. The children loved reading their stories to Nell, and Nell loved to listen and also to smell. Sniff, 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 mixed in the air were Play-Doh and pudding and newly washed hair, the crusts in the trash and the coats on the hooks. But the best smell of all was the smell of the books. And there's Nell with the boy reading. Books about dinosaurs, books about knights, books about planets and meteorites, books about princes who turned into frogs, books about dragons, and books about dogs. But then came a Monday when all was not well. Nell sniffed the air, and she smelled the wrong smell. Into the classroom the two of them hurried and found Mr. Jones looking terribly worried. He tugged at his hair and he let out a sigh. Peter looked round and he started to cry. Sniff, 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 what's going on? The books, cried out Peter. The books are all gone. Where do you think the books went? Nell gave a growl when she heard the bad news, but then started sniffing and searching for clues. Sniff, sniff, sniff. On the bookshelf, a cap. The thief must have dropped it. A terrible chap. Nell sniffed the cap, then she tugged on the lead, and woof! She was off at an astounding speed. Everyone followed Detective Dog Nell. She stopped at the traffic light. What could she smell? Sniff, sniff, sniff. Haddock and hay, pizza and penguins, and farther away, the smell of the thief. And, how very exciting, thousands of pages all covered in writing. Then woof, they were off with no time for a stop, past the farm and the zoo and the fry and pie shop. They raced through the field where the rabbits smelled good, then over a golf course and into the wood. They thrashed through the undergrowth, leafy and dense, till they came to a gate in an old wooden fence. Then Nell started growling and pricked up an ear. She barked, and the bark meant, the thief is in here. They flung the gate open, and Peter cried, look! And there sat a man with his nose in a book. There were many more books poking out of a sack, and the children yelled, those are our books! Give them back! Sniff, sniff, sniff. The book thief looked sad. I'm sorry, he sniffled. I know I've been bad. Stealing is wrong, but I just meant to borrow. I was planning to give all the books back tomorrow. To borrow? To borrow? Nell pricked up an ear. She barked, and the bark meant, I've got an idea. Then woof, she was off, and away they all sped, including the book thief, who told them, "I'm Ted." Sniff, 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 they raced through the wood, and over the field where the rabbits smelled good. They panted and puffed past the fry and pie shop, the zoo, and the farmyard with never a stop, except to retrieve Peter's scarf and his ball, which someone had thoughtfully placed on a wall. Till they came to a building with doors wide open, and what did they see when they went inside? Thousands of books, from floor to ceiling. Books gave the thief the most heavenly feeling. He gazed in amazement. "Where am I?" he said. And Peter replied, "In the library, Ted. You can join if you want to, there isn't a fee, and then you can take lots of books out for free." So Ted has a lovely new library card, and he sits reading books in his little backyard. And when it's Monday, Detective Dog Nell visits the school with the wonderful smell. Sniff, 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 with a faraway look, she smells and she listens to book after book. Books about dinosaurs, books about knights, books about planets and meteorites, books about princes who turn into frogs, books about dragons, and books about dogs. All of the old books and a new one as well. The story of daring Detective Dog Nell. And that's the end. Before we go, I wanted to share probably one of the most famous dog songs out there. I'm sure you all know it, so sing along with me. It goes like this. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh. Thank you so much for joining me. We can't wait to see you back in the library when it's safe for us to all return. Have a wonderful day.